and welcome to India Today. This is Hesha Chima, and joining me for a conversation here is Kriti Shetty. Hello.
Hello.
So lovely to see you, and you look so pretty and nice.
Thank you so much. So do you.
Oh, sweet, thank you. We had like a mutual admiration chat
Yes.
before. Shoes, hair, makeup, this, that. But well, congratulations.
Thank you
have a
very
film
much.
that's going to release in 6 languages.
Yes.
Let's just get to it and talk about it.
For sure.
Tell me a bit more about it.
So the film is called ARM, which is Ajayante Randam Moshanam, which means Ajayan's second robbery. That's the title of the film, and it's a Malayalam film originally, but they are releasing it in all the languages, and there's a lot of hard work that went into dubbing it properly, even the songs, everything into all these languages, which is not extremely rare nowadays because a lot of South Indian films have
Correct.
been
More languages, yeah.
Yeah, but for Malayalam, it's still pretty new because Malayalam as an industry is the budgets are a little smaller compared to other industries.
Right.
So not all films get dubbed into all these languages, but we are hoping this will be a start.
Yeah, that's a good one actually. All the best. I hope it
Thank
leads
you.
there. But tell me something. For you personally, did you dub it yourself in all the 6 languages, or did you seek help?
So I have not dubbed it in all the languages because the characters are very it's based in the 90s. It's a village girl, proper Malayalam character, and I had a lot of dialogues, and I did not want that foreign accent to be there in my first film.
Yeah.
Because I also, when the audience watches it, I mean, selfishly as an actor, I would love to dub, but
Yeah.
when the audience watches it, I want them to have an authentic experience because I mean, with the director, with the look and everything, they were very, very particular. So I did not want to interfere with the voice because
Yeah.
it's a huge aspect.
Yeah.
So I could not, but I'm hoping in the future I can start.
Yeah, I know, of course. Always a fresh start for things
Yeah,
like
and
this.
I was very happy when the writer, it's actually a northern Kerala dialect, which is new for everybody actually, even Tovino.
Yeah.
So, but the writer, he's from there, and when he came and told me that my accent sounds good, I was so happy and so relieved because it's a new language and a new accent, new dialect.
Yeah.
And when he told me it was good, I was satisfied. I was so happy.
That's some kudos to you all for picking up a new language. Like, if you tell me at this age to learn a new language, I'll be horrible at it. I won't remember words. I'll probably fumble 5-6 other old languages that I know and then deliver. So, good job with that.
Thank you.
So what I do want to ask you actually is something which we were also talking about before, but I said hold up your answer till we start
Yes.
rolling so everybody gets it, which is exactly this question. You're such a young girl in your 20s. Like, rewind 10 years ago, me in my 20s, I was damn aimless, bro. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do, which field I wanted to get into, how I want to navigate it, etc. At such a young age, you started off in a career which is so competitive and there's so much attention, eyeball, performance pressure, stuff like that. How are you just navigating through things like these?
So I think I started working in advertisements when I was much younger, many years ago, but then I never really saw acting as a career. I was doing one day ads, going back, I was really happy, I was opening up. I was a very introverted kid actually. So that was a very good experience for me to open up, learn about people, about life,
Right.
and then really, earning money by yourself, you really start respecting money.
Yeah.
And then I actually started working and I was enjoying it also honestly because I did not want to put pressure on my parents when I wanted to go to college with money. I wanted to be responsible and do it myself and be able to earn and save up. So that was constantly in the back of my mind, and I think I've been very conscious with money because both my parents were working. So growing up, I've seen them work so hard, and I mean, they were very passionate about what they do. So, but when I saw them working so hard, even on weekends sometimes, it really made me value money because I was like, this is why they're working hard. They're working hard to give me the best life that I could ever have.
Yeah.
And then I sort of felt responsible to take care of myself. So that's how it started. And then after slowly, I mean, I think by destiny, I got my first film. And then after my first film also, I really did not think I will continue acting because it was a difficult experience. And I mean, I know every job is difficult,
Yeah.
but I, for some reason, did not think I was made for this. And then the songs released from the film and the film released and the kind of love that I've received, that's what made me want to stay. That's what made me come back. I felt like I wanted to give back this love in some way and wanted to be worth all the people who showed all that affection on me.
Yeah.
So that's how I came back. And then when I came back, I became really obsessed with my work. And I'm actually a little bit of a workaholic, like a little too crazy about it. So there's really nothing else I can imagine myself doing at this point. So I'm really, really thankful to life and where it got me and my first film and the audience mostly, because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here. If it wasn't for the love, and then now I'm extremely obsessed. And I think it's true that it's a very competitive industry with lots of attention all the time, but then I feel like when I made that decision to come back, I knew what I was getting into, mostly.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm really happy about all of it. And personally, I'm not a very competitive person or someone who gets jealous or competes. I don't relate to all of that much.
Right.
And I feel like there's space for everybody in the industry to exist, and everybody, I mean, it's all already written is what I believe.
Sure.
So, I mean, it's going to go on the way it's going to go on anyway.
Yeah.
So I like to manifest and kind of surround myself with more positive energy
Rather than taking the pressure of the
yeah.
things. I do want to ask you is that while you're trying to keep yourself positive and guard yourself, right, you can't not see the obvious, which is certain things that are happening. Let's say particularly, for example, what's happening with the whole Me Too revival in the southern
Yes.
industry as well, right? In situations like these, what is it that goes on in your head and what's your point of view when stuff like this happens?
I think in a way it's extremely unfortunate, obviously, because there's so many people that went through horrible stuff. But I feel like now that they're taking a stand for themselves, there's more awareness, and I think that awareness is going to create the change. So that way I feel like it's great. I mean, even the Me Too movement, it created so much change in the industry.
Yeah.
And I think that coming back again is only going to do good.
Yeah, true. But then does that affect you in some way or the other? Because you're also viewing it as an outsider, like when you read some stuff like that. And then, but you're also a part of the industry because you are an insider, one can't deny that.
Definitely, because I feel like such things, I mean, it becomes very generic.
Right.
I feel like there's, people start viewing the whole industry like that. And I mean, one thing is that, and the other thing is just reading about the people who have been through all this. It's very, very heartbreaking.
Yeah.
And I am a very sensitive person. So I get really disturbed by all these things.
Yeah.
And I think empathy is my biggest emotion in life. So I get connected to things very, very easily. So it's very disturbing for me to read all these things and see what all people have gone through.
Right.
But I mean, it's unfortunate. But at the same time, the other side is that people start viewing the whole industry like that and make it very generic. So I feel bad for the people who, you know, like me personally, I don't have any connections to the industry. So if I read all these things, I would more likely not want to pursue my dream and
Exactly.
not want to come to the industry.
Yeah, fair
Yeah.
enough. But tell me something, you know, when you are starting off in your career, I think somewhere or the other you do have a roadmap of sorts. You just mentioned it to me that this was not your initial plan,
Yes.
but you sort of fell back upon it. So tell me that one thing which you absolutely loved about acting that's gotten you so passionate, which makes you feel very gratified and content.
I think it's when the directors express their happiness.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, I receive all my energy for the character from the directors, because I feel like it's their vision that I'm a part of. It's their baby, and I think if the director is expressing happiness, that is everything to me. And there have been moments ever since the beginning of my career where that has been, I mean, there's like two ways. There's also days where, you know, when I'm a super expressive person, so I kind of expect that in return also. So some days, but the director cannot always be,
Yeah,
acha hai, clap. And
I know, I agree
yeah,
with you.
But I'm a sucker for that. So
Right.
when they're not like that, and when they are involved in something else, I get so disturbed because I'm like, I come back home and I'm like, did I do good enough? But then the days where they are happy and expressive, there's nothing like it. And I think no other feeling in my life compares to that.
Yeah. But you know, tell me something, I'm just going to pick from this thing only, right? External validation sometimes can take you a long way because you feel a little
Yes.
bit more confident, right? In your industry specifically, that would happen in
Definitely.
terms of, say, like awards or through like rewards or your, you know, your box office numbers or your
Yes.
streaming numbers,
Yeah.
etc. Like, have you started thinking about these things or you're just like, listen, too soon, I'm not going to put so much head into
No,
it?
definitely. I think, I mean, once I feel completely responsible because I feel like there is a set of audience watching me, rooting for me. So I feel a little responsible in those terms. But at the same time, I want to make good choices and I'm only still learning because it's my initial few
Correct.
years. So I'm still trying to make all the good decisions and responsible decisions and make everybody who's rooting happy and proud.
Right. You know, you did Super 30 with Hrithik as
Yes.
well. Like, do you have any plans to circle back and come and do full-fledged Hindi movies?
Definitely, I feel like since I grew up in Bombay and we speak Hindi at home,
Yeah.
I feel like all the languages that I'm working in, be it Telugu, Tamil, Malayalam, are languages that I've learned.
Right.
So Hindi will probably be very natural to me. So I'm waiting to explore like how my performance will change in
Yeah.
those aspects.
Yeah. So are you like really mapping it out? Are you all up for auditions? Are you seeking out? Like,
I
what's
think
your
I would
process?
definitely be up for auditions, and I feel like in all the languages that I've worked in so far, I've had a really good debut film, and I think that's extremely important. So I'm just waiting for the right one.
Yeah, makes sense. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
and I generally think debut films are extremely important because it kind of places you in people's minds.
Right.
And from my experience, that is what I think. So that's why I think I'm taking my time with it, and I have no rush.
Yeah, that's too much time on your plate. Have you sort of understood in terms of, or do you have like a wish list of which director you want to really work with, or which actor you really want to work with, or like you're going with an open head?
I mean, even though it sounds very cliche, I feel like from every actor that I've worked with and every director, every technician that I've worked with, I've learned so much from them because everybody is my senior. So I've picked up so many things because everybody has a different style.
Yeah.
So I would love to work with lots of people like everyone and learn lots from them. But at the same time, you know, growing up, you watch Sanjay Leela Bhansali sir's films and Imtiaz sir's films.
Yeah.
And then you really want to be part of those visions.
Right.
And yeah.
Those worlds are always like the ones that we
Yeah.
love watching, and then you sort of imagine yourself being them. Like, this is me, this is reality.
Yeah,
this
ye
is
to
what's
main hu.
happening. Ye to main hu, ye to road mein
And
mujhe
then
mil
you
jana
kind
chahiye.
of in front of the mirror, you're like doing a scene from Jab We Met or
Yeah.
something.
Oh
So-
God, icons.
Or dancing to Diwani Mastani and
Yeah.
having a whole moment. So, I mean,
It's a
I've
feeling.
been doing all that growing up.
It's a feeling. See,
It-
somewhere
it
down the line
is.
knew that you're going to get here. It's just that you actively did not think that acting is what you want
Yeah,
to do, probably.
I mean, I never saw it as a full-on career for
Right.
myself, like for some reason. But it's very surprising because my family, when I told them I'm doing my first film, I'm gonna get into acting and all these things, they were never really surprised. Like, and it's not just my parents, all my cousins, my uncles, aunts, everybody, they were like, yeah, I mean,
They saw it coming.
Yeah.
You probably had
I
your
did
calling
not.
later.
Yeah.
You know, lastly, before I let you go, it's very imperative to bring out that on social media also you have a massive presence. Like your followers in millions, and that's like so traumatic and pressuresome sometimes when I think about it. But that's again my viewpoint when I'm looking at it, because then you maintain with consistency, you maintain with, you know, ensuring that everything that you're putting out there makes sense because there's people watching you, etc. What's your take on social media like, and how are you actively, or let's say not actively, involved with it?
I think I'm definitely involved because I feel like social media today is a way to connect to the people who are really supporting you,
Yeah.
which I'm extremely grateful for. So that's a way of expressing, I mean, a medium to express my gratitude and stay in touch with everybody.
Yeah.
And then also I don't feel a pressure because I feel like anyways I'm just very honest in everything, so I don't feel like I'm putting something out there which is not me. So I'm just myself, and I hope people like it, but then there are people who don't, then they won't really follow me up.
Yeah.
So I don't feel a pressure.
What's your coping mechanism to sort of get over things when they don't go your way?
Um, since I'm a sensitive person who's also obsessed with my work. If there's something that I really want, I will make sure that I do everything I can. Like, I can go to any extent to learn it and to try to get it. But like I said, I believe in destiny also. So if something really doesn't come my way, I believe that it was not for me, and it's part of a bigger plan. Is how I see it.
You're too sorted for a 20-year-old. I love it. I'm kind of envious and jealous of you, but in a good way. I just wish you all the very best.
Thank you so much.
Looking forward to your film, 6 languages. Let's put that out there. It's exciting.
Thank
Whole
you.
world to watch, and good luck in everything else that you do.
Thank you very
Thank you
much.
so much.